Hello.
We went round to the neighbours. We went over the road to the neighbours, and they were lovely people, a little bit more well-to-do than us. And you're always on edge, aren't you? That you're going to sound like you're a complete moron. And I thought, what can I talk about? What can I say in this group of people? And I thought, I know, I'll talk about some sports, because sport's always good, isn't it,
Yes,
Bri?
it's great.
It's always a good icebreaker when you talk about sport. So I said to the lady who owned the house, I said, are there any good pool tables around here that my son and my husband could go and play pool on? And she went, sorry, what? And I said, pool tables. She went, pool?
Hello.
Daddy, I love him.
Mother thanks you.
Right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
That's the thing with you, you're very photogenic. We have been living in Canada now for a month in beautiful British Columbia, and today we're back on a walking podcast to take you around the neighbourhood and talk about what life in Canada has been like so far. You like that intro?
Yeah, it's a good intro.
There you go. Pro, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like straight into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no messing around.
We've been here for a month and we've got another 2 months to go. We are house sitting with our kids, our young adult kids, and we've got some stories to tell you this week about what life in Canada's been like. And the first one we're going to start with is going to hand it over to my very capable husband, who I will not be interrupting.
So all these people will turn off now.
Because you had a bit of a to-do, didn't you, Bri?
It was Monday nights, me and my son, Sonny, we always go out to try and play some pool or head up to the mountain bar, which is called the T-Bar up on the Panorama Ski Resort.
You've been doing this since Bath. It's been like a tradition.
Yeah, but it was much easier in Bath because...
In England,
because you could just... Literally, we were a 2-minute walk to the train station, which would take you straight into the city of Bath in about 7 minutes. And then you could have a drink. But
I know.
Obviously you can't really have a drink.
Is it the same when you can't have a drink though, when you go out together?
No, it doesn't really matter because, but it was just more relaxing because you always think, oh, do I have a drink? And then if you do have a drink, you think, oh, I have the one, and then you just, it's not worth it, is it? You know, it really isn't.
Oh, I've got something to tell you in a minute as well about Sonny and having a drink and what the guy in the liquor store said to him. Just remind me about that. Anyway, go on, carry on. So what happened on your night out?
Well, we went to the first place to go and play the pool, which is called Eve's. And we'd been there the week before and we were the only ones in there. And we just played pool for like 2 or 3 hours. But it closes at 9 o'clock. So
do you find that's the case in Canada?
Yes. It's a bit like New Zealand.
But it was the same in America. So I'm wondering if the world has turned into a really early night place, because apart from Greece and Paris...
Like as in the Mediterranean?
Yeah.
But Paris or so?
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. They stayed open late.
Yeah.
But when we were in America, we were in Colorado, and we found it hard to get a restaurant after 8 o'clock. New Zealand is notorious for... is that notorious? Notorious. Where we live in New Zealand is notorious for it. Not that we go out much.
No, I mean...
So I wondered if you'd found the same in Canada.
Well, do you know, we've only been to Eve's.
And Eve's shut at 9 o'clock?
Yeah. And then, so busily looking on the old Google to have a look and see what else is open after 9 o'clock. Nothing.
So where did you go?
Because one of the main pubs, which is called Oula's in Invermere, which is where it kind of all happens, it was just, that was closed on Monday night.
Yeah.
It's not a good night to go out.
Maybe Monday night's a no. I was going to say, maybe change your night.
Yeah, well, but, you know, even in Bath, in England, you know, and that's quite a sort of small cosmopolitan city, we'd go to the student bar, play pool, because that was the only place that had 2 pool tables that we could always get on a Monday night. And then we go to Nando's, and Nando's would kind of close around about, last orders would be 9:30. So even that wasn't too bad on a Monday night, but not completely closed, or literally at 7:45, they close the door and get you out.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Here in Canada, it seems to be that way. So that's why you've got to go up to the ski resort, which is open till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's always somewhere that's open, isn't there?
It's a fantastic ski resort. I know I've told you that before, Panorama. Yeah. But it's absolutely fantastic. So I think before you tell the story, I think just for the new people to the channel, we just need to say to the podcast, we need to say who we are. We're husband and wife, and we're travelling from New Zealand for a year with our young adult kids. And we're 10 months into it, and we have arrived in Canada to house sit for 3 months. So that's our story. You can go back and listen to all the other episodes and find out why we're doing this and what we're doing. But that's our story. So that's why we're talking about going out with our young adult son.
Yes, yeah, because we just made it a thing that we used to go out in New Zealand and play pool on a Monday night at the New Plymouth Club, which was a pool competition, and we just kind of carried it on from there. And Sonny really got into pool, and I used to play pool for many years ago, and haven't sort of played properly for the last 30 years. And when we were in the USA, house sitting, there was a pool table there, which was great, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it really was.
Just slow down because you're getting out of breath again. You've chose this route so you don't get out of breath.
What?
And already you're out of breath.
Well, I'm not exactly.
Do you know
out
what
of
I think
breath.
you should do? I think you should do some.
But you know what it is, Liz? I'm just trying to get all the words in before I get interrupted.
Don't start milking that, because that's. I've got my team. I've got my team cheering for me.
There's Team Les and Team B.
So don't start that. Actually,
let him finish.
Stop interrupting before I tell you. Before Bri carries on with this story.
Yeah.
See, I'm holding it back, Bri, because it's such a good story. It's such a good Canadian experience. I think I should just tell you. Do you remember when we were in Bath? We were in Bath, right? And we were there for 3 months. And Bath is where we had our kids were born there 16 years ago before we moved to New Zealand. And beautiful city, but quite hoity-toity, isn't it, Bri?
It's a little bit too hoity-toity,
A little
really.
bit hoity-toity.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hiya.
And so, yeah, we were staying in Bath, and we went round to the neighbours. We went over the road to the neighbours, and they were lovely people, really lovely people, but like I say, you know, a little bit more well-to-do than us. And you're always on edge, aren't you, that you're going to sound like you're a complete moron. And I thought, what can I talk about? What can I say in this group of people? And I thought, I know, I'll talk about some sports, like, you know, because sport's always good, isn't it,
Yes,
Bri?
it's great.
It's always a good icebreaker when you talk about sport. So I said to the lady who owned the house, I said, are there any good pool tables around here that my son and my husband could go and play pool on? And she went, sorry, what? And I said, pool tables. She went, pool? Oh, no. That's not very fresh foot.
Maybe billiards. Maybe someone's got a billiard table.
So I think pool is a bit of a commoner's game, Brian.
Well, I'd say it is American. That's why.
Yeah, but I think it's like a working class commoner's person's game. Do you?
You know why that is?
Is it? Why?
Because it's a small table.
What do you mean?
Well, snooker tables are huge. They're 12 foot by 6 foot.
Oh, is there a difference?
Well, yeah, a pool table is just over 6 foot, or to maybe maximum 8 foot by 4 foot. So it's tiny. You know, you can get three or four pool tables on a snooker table. So you needed a big room. You know, and that's why it's a hoity-toity one. Because remember that place we stayed in Napier? Again, house sitting, and I saw the old plans because they had them on the wall. Because it was built in like the late 1800s, but they had an extension in, I think it was in 1911 or something like that, for a billiards table, which was a snooker table. And that whole dining room area was
I'm totally confused. I'm totally confused.
Why?
So what is billiards and what is pool and what is snooker?
Well, snooker, basically billiards is played on a snooker table. You play with 3 balls. You have a red ball, you have a white cue ball, and you have a white ball with a spot. And you do things like cannons and in-offs and things like that.
Right.
Where snooker, you've got, is it 15 reds, a yellow, green, blue, brown, pink and black.
Right.
And, you know, so you pot a red ball, you get 1 point, and then you pot a coloured ball, you get whatever the points are from 7 to 2.
So why did she say... Sorry, we will talk about Canada. I'm sorry, but I need to
into snooker.
I need to know this now.
Sport.
Why did the
sudden.
posh lady say maybe billiards but not pool? Why did she say that?
Because they tended to always call it play billiards, because it's I don't know. It's more of a gentlemanly sport.
Well, maybe we should change our thing
It's a little bit easier than. It's not easier, but it's just. I don't know. It's a
Don't tell
one-on-one
people you're
game.
playing pool.
Yeah.
Say you're playing billiards.
No, because
Yes.
it's a completely different game. And they used to play with ivory balls back in the day.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah. Do you ever remember going to Lanhydrock? And they had a snooker table, and they called it a billiards table because
This is a stately home in Cornwall
Yes.
in England, by the way.
the National Trust, and they still had the ivory balls on the table.
Ooh.
How amazing is that, though? Yeah, but do you just think, yes, it's not good for what it was, but that was the ivory trade at the time, wasn't it? And all the colour was coming off the balls.
Was it?
Mm.
Oh.
It's not bad when your colour comes off your balls. It's not good.
The only reason I say it's a bit of a like, I don't know, it's always like, you always see these films, don't you, where they go into a saloon or a bar and there's always a pool table, there's always like fights, there's always scraps over the pool table and there's always like a bottle of beer sitting on the side. I can see what she means about, sorry, no. I can see that because it'd be like, I don't know, it'd be like saying, where can my husband go and do some boxing, wrestling?
But I mean,
He wants to do some Beth's wrestling, where can he go?
I know, but it's true, though, isn't it? Yeah. I can't remember the name of that film with, what was his name? He was in Gladiator, and he was in Oliver Twist. He was Fagin, not Fagin, the other guy.
Yeah, Oliver Reed.
Oliver Reed, that was
So
what I was
anyway,
looking
right,
for.
going back to your story. So you've gone up the mountain because
Yes.
you couldn't find anywhere else to have a fisticuff over the pool table. You're with
Yep.
our son who's an alcoholic. You're not allowed to drink.
Yep.
So you're there in the mountain. You have a really good game of pool. Then what happens, Bri?
Then what happens is it got round about. They were playing Aussie Bingo, which at the night in the tea bar. That's where we were, and it was quite a good night because it was all about Australian music. And with it being a ski resort, there's plenty of Aussies there, and they were doing all special dances and things to music and stuff. And then once that finished, around about 11ish, it was like, right, we may as well go. We'll head on home. So. We got into the car and we started driving back down the mountain because it's quite a bit of a mountain pass.
It's beautiful.
And it was about
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was. It's not been an overly cold winter here, so it was about -6 or something like that, 6 degrees centigrade. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, off the top of my head, but I could work it out for you if you want. But
Come on, what happened?
well, we were driving down,
Yes.
and then all of a sudden we just saw this glow in the distance.
Ooh.
And it was like, ooh, that looks a bit bright. That looks like, someone's got a bit of a fire going on in the woods. And then when we came around the next corner, we could see all the pine trees there, and the flames were leaping above the pine trees. I mean, the pine trees weren't huge, but they were still, I don't know, 20 or 30 feet, maybe more. And all of a sudden we just said, that just doesn't look like a fire. That looks like a house fire. Because the flames were just leaping up, and it was just a glow on this like hill. It was
Mountainside.
it was on the mountainside, but it was on this hill. And so we slowed down and we started coming around the corner, and we realised, oh shit, it is either a house or something is on fire. It's not just a bonfire. And
Was there anyone else around?
no other cars, no nothing.
And it's pitch black because it's in the mountains. They're coming down a mountain pass.
It was heading up towards midnight by the time we'd got to where we were. And there's this woman on the side of the road. And she's there, you could see her on her phone, and she's just waving her arms. Aww. And there was a dog she had between her legs, just sort of sitting and by the side of her, and we slowed down, pulled over off the road because it was like a driveway. That's where she was standing, and let's keep moving because otherwise the camera's going to be in the sun. And it's just wind the window. You don't wind the window down. You press the button, the electric window goes down. But you always say wind the window. I wound the window down, and Sunny was on that side of the road because it was on our right hand side. And I was about to shout, is everything okay? And she just started sort of wailing and screaming and saying...
Wailing?
Yeah, like she was like just in a full breakdown.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, and it was really quite sad to see, but I was just like... So I put the car into park and put the handbrake on, and go out to see her, and she's going, where are we? Where are we? What's the name of this road? What's the name of this road? And she's a Canadian. And I didn't have a clue.
No.
Well, you don't, do you? You're just driving along
Just
the
got your
road,
sat
and
nav,
you're like,
haven't you?
yeah, you're just like, I haven't got a clue what it is. And so I just shouted over to Sonny, I said, find out where we are. Just go on Google Maps and just choose your location and see where you are, like, you know. And he's like, yeah. And luckily we had signal. And
Well, that was lucky.
I know,
Because it's really dodgy up there,
it's
isn't it?
really
when you're on
like,
the
no,
way
it's
to the
not great
mountain?
up in the mountains, is it?
No.
Like, you know. And she was just like, I don't know where we are. I don't know where we are. We've only been here for a few days. And I said, what's happening? What's happening? Is everybody okay? She said, yeah. Our trailer has caught fire.
Oh.
And she was just like, we had a fire on the go, and something's happened, and the trailer caught fire, and the trailer's burning down. And all I could hear in the background was two guys shouting with a chainsaw, buzzing the trees around where the trailer was.
Why?
To stop them catching fire.
Right.
Because it's a whole forest. And like I was saying before, as you can see if you're watching this video, everywhere is quite yellow and there's no snow. It's been one of the mildest winters they've ever known here. Today it's about 6 degrees while we're walking out. And yes, it might get cold tonight, but there's been no snow in the last month, has there, really?
There hasn't, no.
And
typical, isn't it? We come to Canada and we're like, we're going to have a really white white winter. And it's same weather as New Zealand, basically. It's like 7 degrees and it's...
Yeah.
But we're not complaining because we go skiing and there's snow on the mountain and it's beautiful. So we're not complaining, we're loving it. But
no,
we're looking forward to when the snow comes.
But going back to this lady who didn't have a clue where she was, and she was on the phone, and she said she just couldn't really cope. She was just so almost
so do you
like...
want to just go down that way, Bryce, so we can...
Not really.
So the sun is not on our backs.
We can do. We can just turn around.
Yeah.
Just turn around.
Because I'm just aware that the sun is probably
in
dark in
the
your
lens.
face. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
So she wasn't aware where
she wasn't aware of where she was because she'd only been there a couple of days. She said it's a friend's place, and not only that, I think we're going to be burning their trailer down as well.
Oh no!
You know, you just think, oh no. And I said, is everybody okay? And she said, yeah. There's only the two of us. There's three of us, and you can hear them up there.
And they were buzzing the trees down.
Yeah. She said, I'm on the phone. I'm on 911, but I'm on hold. And this is what I'd got out of her. So she was shaking. So, I sort of put my arm around her and said, listen, you just got to calm down, just try and breathe and just think of where you are and what you are.
Well, it felt nice. Can you just put your arm around me again, please?
What you're doing. And I brought her over to the car and I said, you need to sit inside. She said, you take the call. You're just saying, oh no, I haven't got a clue. I've never phoned 911 in America or Canada or whatever it is, And I said, okay. And then Sonny had come back to me by this time and he said, we're on Toby Creek Road. And he said, it's 4222 Toby Creek Road. And I'm like, okay, great. Then the lady came back on the emergency call and she started to talk. And I said, listen, the lady is still here. I said, but she's breaking down, I said, she's incomprehensible at the moment. Is it comprehensible? Is that right?
Incoherent?
Incoherent or incomprehensible.
Yeah, just like panicked. Yeah.
So she was hyperventilating.
Was she?
Yeah. And I just said, listen, she said, well, where are you? And I thought, what? Why didn't every emergency service I've ever been to, they just geolocate you straight from your phone.
But why couldn't they do that?
I don't know. I really don't know. And I said, listen, we're on Toby Creek Road. She said, okay, Toby Creek Road, right. I said, 4222, Toby Creek Road. And
right, you've given the address out twice now on YouTube.
Right, I know, sorry about that. It doesn't really matter,
It wasn't
does it?
really Toby Creek Road and it wasn't 4442.
Yeah, 4222, not really, yes. And she just said, okay, yep. She said, is anybody injured or burnt? And I said, not that I'm aware of at the moment. I said, but realistically, it's very cold. It's probably a good idea to send an ambulance as well. She said, well, the fire department are on the way. And she said, we'll send an ambulance as well, And She asked me my name, my telephone number. I had to give her my New Zealand telephone number as well, because just in case the phone I was on had gone down. I said, "You've got this number?" She said, "Yeah." She read it out to me. And I said, "How long are they going to be?" She said, "Everyone's been paged, so they'll be there as soon as they can."
Aww.
And literally, you don't want to put the phone down. You just want to keep talking to someone.
Yeah, just don't leave me.
Yeah, but they just obviously got to take other calls and things, haven't they?
Yeah.
But I just said, you know, you're going to need to get them here quick. I said, because if these trees do go up, I said, it'll start a bushfire. You know, there'll be a forest fire before you know it.
I don't think she needed you to tell her that, Bri.
Well, you don't know where they are, do you?
You better get here quick, because it's going to spread.
Well, it's in the middle of the country, Liz.
I know, but...
Well, what else are you going to say? Don't worry, mate. Just take your time. Take your time.
No, but what I'm saying is...
Leave the planes on the ground.
She works for emergency services. I think she would know that. But,
Well,
you know...
well, she didn't. She didn't know where we were.
Didn't she?
If she knew where we were, then it would be all right, wouldn't it?
Did she ask you if you were a fireman?
She said, "Have you ever been in the fire service, mate?" And I went, I said, "Are you a policeman?" I said, "Well, my dad was."
I'm a policeman, a fireman, doctor.
Yeah, plumber, gas fitter. Yeah, just general
Oh,
person.
I'll tell you what though, Bri.
What's
you
that?
what, it's a good job someone like you was there, because if you had someone
Yeah.
like who panics themselves, because you do need someone calm in a situation like that.
Yeah, you do. And Sonny's very calm in those
He is,
situations.
he's brilliant. Yeah,
he's
he
really
is.
good.
You both are. So, and I liked that because you just told me afterwards, and you were like, you put her in the car and you put the heater seat on.
Yeah, she was freezing cold.
She
All
had
she
a dog with her as well, her
Yeah.
Alsatian.
And
And you let the dog go in the car, didn't you, Bri?
I did like that. Yeah, because it's like when in America, it's weird. In America, rental cars don't have a problem with pets. Canada, you have to sign a waiver that you won't put a dog in the car.
Which is a bit of a problem, because we're house sitting and we're looking after a Bernese, I can't remember how you pronounce
Bernese.
it, mountain dog.
Yeah.
And she is beautiful, and she needs to go to the vets for her injection once a month, and she wants to go out to the lake, and so we've got to put the dog in. I don't care if the rental company are listening to this.
No,
one.
I had to put her in because she had no lead and she just had a thin jumper on.
Who did? The dog?
Just the lady.
Oh, the lady.
Yeah, or the girl.
Yeah.
And she was just shaking. So I
wonder.
turned the car back on and put the heated seat on.
Oh.
And the dog was in the passenger seat next to her. Me and Sunny were now just outside. And she was trying to call people to let them know what was happening. And then there's just, within like literally 5 minutes, there was a guy in a big pickup truck had stopped behind us, and I'm like, oh, all right, it didn't seem quite right, like, you know, and he had flashing red lights on the top, and I'm like, that's a bit quick, because like Invermere is it's a good 5-10 minute drive, and I walked out because I could see his headlights and these red flashing lights, and this guy just gets out in normal clothes, and he went, I walked up to him, I said, I looked down the side and I could see fire department. And I'm like, oh, I said, you're from the fire department? He said, I am. He said, but I'm off. He said, and I was driving back from the resort. He said, and I've just pulled over because I could see your hazard lights on. And he said, I am fire department, but he said, I've got nothing with me. He said, I haven't got my fire clothes or anything. Or he said, I'm just in the truck. He said, but I've been paged, but because I'm up here, I would normally have to go back and pick his stuff up, like, you know, which seemed a bit weird. But the fact is, it was just good to have someone from the fire department there, you know. And then probably about another 5 minutes later, another pickup truck turned up, and a guy got out with all his kit on, and he went back to this other truck which had all the writing over it, and started getting equipment out the back of it and stuff. And
was it just like a hive of activity?
It just all of a sudden, and then the police turned up, so I had to go over and see him and just say, yeah, I put the call through. The lady, Diana, is in the car there, and but I said, she's not in a great state. I said, is there an ambulance coming? I said, because she's having a bit of a breakdown there. And which is really quite sad, but he was such a lovely guy, and
Who was the policeman?
The policeman, yeah, he was just top notch, and he just went. He called the girl over, and he said, "Listen, is anyone up there?" And she said, "Yes." The two names of the guys, and he said, "I'm going up."
The ones that were in the trees?
Yeah, it was up a driveway, and it was just like thick ice on the driveway, you know, and he put his car into four-wheel drive and up he went, sliding all over the place.
Oh.
But he got up there.
How old was he?
I would say he was about 40.
Someone's dad, someone's husband.
Yeah, you just think, yeah, that's what these guys do,
I know,
isn't it? Like, you know?
I know.
And then another pickup truck came, a full-blown, quite a biggish pickup truck, like an F250 or something like that. And he had all the kit on board. And the other guy that had turned up earlier went to the top, got on the back of it and pulled out a big hose. And the guy just drove off. And this thing was going sideways up the hill because it was so heavy, like, you know, full of equipment.
Do you want to go that way or that way?
We'll just carry on.
Okay.
Oh, do you want to go through the woods? That way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was just fascinating to see this, the side of the road with no one there, with this blaze going on. These guys all calmly just doing their thing. And everyone just talking to each other. And then within about another 5 minutes, a huge big water bowser turned up. We all had to move our cars out the way for it so it could pull in on the side of the road. And that hose was connected up. And the water was pumping within 15 minutes, which was outstanding when you think about it, considering where we were, up a bloody mountainside. And this thing was, you know, another 150 metres up the road. And they just all were calmly just doing their job.
Yeah.
And then the ambulance turned up. And by this time, one of the guys had come back down and he was in a bit of a state and they were administering him oxygen and stuff. And then another guy came down who was the partner of the girl. And he was almost like patting my back and saying, thank you for what you've done. Thank you so much. And I just said to him, listen, whatever's happened, I said, just keep it to yourself tonight and tell everybody tomorrow when you've got a good clear head.
Why did you say that?
Oh, because it was just quite tragic to see that the trailer had gone, and you say all these things that because you're just in a state of panic when things like that happen.
I know.
And you might just say something wrong that, you know, stuffs your insurance up or stuffs something up if they did have insurance. You just don't know.
I know what you mean. I
always think it's just clearer to say it tomorrow when you've got a clearer head and you've had time to think about it, instead of just saying things that are coming off the top of your head because you just bump. You're all over the place, aren't you? Guy just been cutting trees down, just try and save the bloody forest, like, you know.
I know.
And
you're going about your daily night, aren't you? And you're just doing your things. You know, I'm having a game of pool and there's me and Tess at home watching The Crown again, watching it rerun. And someone's life has
changed
beyond
completely.
belief.
Yeah.
And I know that when you came home and you talked about it in the next morning, we were talking about it, and you just said about how the team, the emergency services, were just all so fantastic. How they all worked together, how they got everything sorted, and thank goodness that, you know, everyone was okay.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, obviously we don't know what happened to the lady and her friends because you left then.
No,
didn't you?
everything was under control. I'd done all as I could, and you feel like you're becoming a hindrance because my car was on the driveway still, and they just needed access, and they all wanted to be close with their vehicles and stuff, like, you know. And so you just think, I just said to Sonny, like, let's just pull the pin and let's go. And we just sort of sneaked away into the darkness, like, you know. But there was this one guy that had turned up before the second truck had turned up, and he was talking to the guy who had come down the hill, the fireman, who didn't have anything. And he was in like just an overalls, like a boiler suit, as you'd call it. Just this big guy and this big pickup truck again. Another F250 turned up with the big twin axles on the back. Not twin axles, but twin wheels. And he just went, hey man, I can hear them cutting. I could see, I came out the workshop, he said, and I looked up and I thought, wow, that's not right. He said, so I came up, he said, do we need another chainsaw? He said, I've got a big ass chainsaw in the back of the truck. And suddenly just went, but you have.
You're Canadian, of course you have.
Of course you've got a big ass chainsaw, mate.
I bet he was wearing a flipping what's it as well, wasn't he? A flannelette shirt.
He probably was under his boiler suit, but he's just this big guy with a big beard, and it was just like, he was up for anything, like, you know. You just think, yep, and that's That's what I think is the wonderfulness about Canada and
Canadians.
the Canadian, that they have that camaraderie where the shit hits the fan, they're all going to pull together, like, you know?
Yeah.
And they really have got that in spade loads, especially in these cold countries, like, you know, because you just see it. You know, people at the side of the road, we did talk about that in America as well, like, you know, where just the people are just, I don't know, they're just the best, aren't they, like, you know?
Aww.
That they just
Aww.
come together and they're just there for each other, and there was no one like, what the fuck are you doing, or anything like, you know, you dick, what have you gone and done? It was just like, hey, let's
All
just
come
get this,
together,
let's
yeah.
just get this fixed.
Yeah.
You know, it reminds me a lot about New Zealand, that just can-do attitude where they just do it, like, you know, because no one else is going to do it, or there might not be anyone else there to do it. So it's just get on, let's do something, even if it's just a small impact on what it is we're about to do or achieve. And it just felt so good to have helped.
To be part of it. I know it's not a very nice thing to be part of, but
no, it's not. But
actually
that's
to
life,
be able
isn't
to
it?
play your role
Yeah.
in, you know, being there with your arm around her and just
Yeah.
getting on the phone to the emergency services. And like I say, no one wants that. No one wants to be involved
Yeah.
in anything like that. But I could see when you came home the next day, you were like, when you were talking about it, you felt like you were kind of like one of the team, sort of thing.
Well, you do,
know?
don't you? You just think, oh, you know, I have to take my hat off to anyone who's in the
Oh
emergency
God,
services.
so do
like,
I.
you know?
So do I. We were talking about that the other day, weren't
Yeah.
we? It's like,
Yeah.
why, and we've talked about this so much in New Zealand, why are these people not on the most money in the whole world?
I know. Yeah.
Why? Because they risk their lives for
I know,
us.
and a lot of them are volunteer.
I know.
You know, in
I
New
know.
Zealand, the majority of the rural firemen are all volunteers.
Yeah.
And I would imagine they're the same here in Canada, because, yeah, you know, all right, yeah, you get to drive the fire engine, but God, these guys are the first responders. They're there, aren't they?
Oh,
You know?
Bri, I just want to say something because we're going over some ice at the
Yeah.
moment. And the last video we did, where we also did a walking podcast, I asked on the video, what are those things called that go on the bottom of your shoes that
You
help
kept
you?
saying glutes something, didn't you?
That help you grip to the ice. And a lady commented, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, but you commented and said, we call them granny grips. And I'm like, oh, that's perfect.
There you go.
then.
Yeah.
I'll just put my granny grips on. That's a really good name. So, yeah. So I liked that. Anyway, going back to the dog.
What, the dog in the car?
The dog in the car.
Now.
And Brian came home and he was all chivalry and I wish I was a fireman and I should have been a fireman. You did say that, Brian. You put your fireman's hat on when you came
That was
into
us in the bedroom later. Yeah, and the big ears.
He wished he was a fireman and all the rest of it. But the next day, when he went out to the car, when all the heroic business had
In the
settled down.
clean light of day, like I said to the chappie, wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everything's a bit clearer.
He went back to the car the next day and there's Alsatian hairs everywhere, all over the car.
Yeah. Ash prints, salt prints. That dog had been everywhere. In the front seats,
He
back
was
seats.
distressed.
Really?
Yes.
Yes. Could have cleaned up after himself.
Yeah, so Bryce spent hours
I
cleaning
spent the best
that
part of
car.
an hour cleaning that car. And, you know, it's one thing I hate is Mr. Dyson and your silly cordless vacuum cleaner and bagless as well.
I like
What's
that.
the
You can
worst
see how much
invention?
dirt's in it.
No, I know, but you go to empty and it goes back all over the house.
No, I love that.
Yeah,
There's
right.
nothing better than
Don't leave the
thinking,
window open, whatever you do.
oh, look how many dog hairs I've hoovered
Yeah.
up here. It's bliss.
Yeah, you go and switch it on, empty, flat, no spare battery. What a stupid idea.
Right, so that's
Anyway. He's English.
that's the story about our adventure. Well, not adventure. That's the wrong word. Brian's night out with our son and what happened
It
there.
went from like a non-eventful night to, you know, everywhere being close. I never said that we went to Eve's early on and there was a,
All right, Brian, you've had your
a
story
family
now.
playing pool, so we couldn't get on the table. But that was the reason, so it made us go to the T-bar.
Yeah, see, everything happens for a
It
reason.
does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah,
it though?
it does.
Everything happens for a reason because
Yeah.
you would have thought like, why couldn't we get on the pool table? That's the
That's
reason.
the reason, to go and help those
Because
people.
exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know, before I tell you the story about the dog, my daughter, Tess, our daughter, Tess, I always say that, I always like my daughter. When
Yeah.
you talk about the kids, do you say mine or ours?
Well, see, and as a man, you never know, do you?
Sorry?
That's why women say mine.
What are you
and
on
the men
about?
go, oh, what ours? Yeah. Oh,
What do you mean?
it's a joke, Liz.
About what?
About you only ever know if it's your child.
What do you mean?
A man would never know.
What are you on about?
That's it. It's just a joke.
Oh, right. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. Yeah, I'll have to remember that one.
Anyone got a shovel? I don't know why. Why would you think
don't
that
know why
I
you
wouldn't
said
think
that.
of our children?
Anyway, shut up, because you're just trying to get out of it now and you're just
yeah.
stupid. And I am going to interrupt you from all the time, and I don't care if you comment that I'm horrible to him. Yes, I am, because he's horrible to me. Anyway, so what we was going to tell you is Tess said, our daughter. Oh, phew,
Yeah,
thank
my
God.
daughter.
I just said it came out naturally.
Yes.
She said about the Canadians. She said she loves Canada. I told you this before. She loved America. She wants to be American. She loves Canada. She just wants to live over this side of the world, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. Thinks it's all happening over this side, isn't it? You know?
And she just said about the Canadians, she said, they are so solid. They're a little bit like you just said then. She said, everything, she said, when I think of Canadians, she said, I think of solidness and reliability is what she said. Like, you could just rely on them. And then it's funny that you should say that about the emergency services, you know, and what happened on your night.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. Would any country be like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, help
No, I
me?
think...
It wouldn't be like that, but...
No, but I think some countries, you hear a lot of shouting.
Yes,
And,
yes.
You know...
Like which one? Which would you say?
Greece, I would say, because we did see the emergency services going on there, and they did. I don't know. It
Yeah, but
just
you've got to
seems
shout when you're in Greece.
I know,
You're
but that's
Greek.
it.
You're allowed
Yeah.
to shout. They're passionate.
You've got to shout Malacca every now and then.
Yeah, but that's different. They're passionate people.
I know, and the Italians as well.
Yeah.
But I can't say about the Americans because I haven't really watched them as a fire department, other than when they're driving past you in New York and they're honking the horns. They just look so
careful,
cool.
bro, because I'm going to slip.
Yeah.
So anyway, what I was going to say about the dog, because
Yep.
we are house sitting. Can you just stop going so fast?
Oh, I'm trying to get through here because
I
my
know,
arm's
I know,
falling
but-
off.
Do you want me to hold it?
If you want.
Do you want me to hold the camera?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well. There you go. What I
There
was
you
saying
go.
about house sitting before,
See you later then.
I'm not allowed to hold the camera. Only men are allowed to hold the camera. Men who want to be firefighters. There you go.
Hey, what, am I holding it again now? Is that it?
I don't like this new attitude of yours. I just don't. Just a joke.
What do you mean? Isn't it funny?
What? What's funny?
It's like when you make a joke, I don't turn around to you and say, "What do you mean?"
Listen, Bri.
What?
Let's not go there, okay? Let's not
Okay.
go there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was saying about husband and wife. No, oh no, I was talking about the dog. What I wanted to say about the dog
Yes.
was we are house sitting this gorgeous Bernese mountain dog.
Yep.
If you're a dog person and you've never been in the company of a Bernese mountain dog, you will not know yourself. They are the most beautiful. They're stubborn. She's a stubborn bugger. She really is.
Weird things, aren't they?
Yeah, she is. If she doesn't want to
Not
do
weird
something,
like
she
that,
won't do
but-
it.
Yeah.
But she is gorgeous.
Yeah.
She is the most soppy, cuddly, gentle, beautiful dog that you can ever imagine. She can't stand Alsatians. She said they shed everywhere. But what I wanted to say was, and this isn't a go at dog owners, because we're dog owners ourselves. Or we lost our dog last year. It's more of a reassurance from someone who is house sitting a dog. So when we first started this house sit, the owners told us she gets very melancholy if she's left, if she gets lonely and melancholy. And I think she said she doesn't like guys wearing hoodies, and Sonny always has his hood up.
I know. Yeah, I think all it was is she said the first 2 days she's going to be very melancholy because she's going to miss us.
That's right. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's what she said. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember what she'd said, but that's what it was.
Yeah.
She said just to let you know that will happen.
And this goes back to a time as well when we were house sitting in the UK, and we had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning because these people had to get a flight. She said the dogs need to see us go.
They want to wave goodbye to us, she said.
Anyway, we are dog owners, so we were a dog owner. And there's no way...
We had to get up at
that intelligent.
3:30 in the morning
Yeah.
to take the dogs out in the pitch black. This was in England, 2022. Take the dogs out in the pitch black, stand on the driveway and wave.
Wait, what? See
I
them
loved it.
drive
He loved
down
it.
the road.
He said, all I ever want to do, Liz, is house sit from now on. I love it so much. So, yeah, that we did have to do that. But these people said she'll be melancholy when we've gone. Well,
I know.
she wasn't.
Yeah.
She is calm. She's loved.
Yep.
We love
She
her.
gets fed
She
by
loved
us.
us. She gets fed by us. And I just want to say that because as pet owners, we like to believe that our pet will miss us so much when we're away. And to be honest, and I say this because I know this because my mum used to do it with her cats, it stops you from going anywhere.
I know it does.
Because you think, oh no,
Can't be left.
They can't be left.
Yeah.
They won't be.
It might be different if they're in kennels, because that's not quite very
Yeah, but I'm not
nice.
talking about kennels.
I know, that's
I'm
what I'm
talking
saying.
about house sitting.
Yeah.
And again, like you know, I just want you to know, if you're a dog or a cat owner like us, and you think that your dog or your cat is going to pine for you and miss you, we say this with the loveliest of hearts to you.
Yeah.
They don't. They really don't.
Honestly,
they just want love and
it's-
attention and feeding. And that's
It's like
it.
I've known her for years and years, this dog.
Yeah.
And,
She's
you know,
beautiful.
you're up in the morning and she rams a huge head between your legs and her head's just sticking out of the back and you have to just pat her and she won't move. If you try and step away from her, she stays under. And she's just like,
Yeah.
like this, like, you know, and it's just like, oh, it's lovely to see. And especially if you've been out, because we tend to go skiing for 3 or 4 hours at the max, don't we? Like,
Yeah.
you know? And,
She's
but-
11, by the way,
Yeah,
so she's
but-
very calm.
And you come back and she starts yelping, doesn't she?
Yeah,
Like, you
she's
know,
gorgeous.
she's. I mean, we were told
She
like
sings.
if you, she like sings like that, doesn't she? And Tash really winds her up doing it, like, you know, it's like, oh, really burning it. It's just like, oh. So yes, so pet owners, honestly, yes, they don't
Relax. Just know, if you are going to house sit and you're going to have people house sitting for you, if they're experienced like we are, and they love animals like we do,
Yep.
you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
Of course you are.
And the other thing I just wanted to say as well was, on a personal note, is it's been so interesting. Those of you who know our story will know that we've come from New Zealand. We lost my mum and my dad 18 months ago. It was a huge loss. We also lost the family dog. It was just awful, a horrible year. And we decided to rent our house and come and travel as a family for a year. And here we are doing it. And do you know, all the places we've been to, Europe and the UK and America, there's always been that, although the 4 of us are together as a family, there's always been that kind of, we know we're travelling. So we're together and we feel together, but you also know that you're travelling, if that makes sense. You feel like there's going to be something next.
Yeah.
Well, being here in Canada has felt, it has almost felt like home. Now, the house really, really helps. It's a beautiful house. The country, we all love it. We absolutely adore Canada. Every one of us. You can't not love Canada. It's the most beautiful, energy-giving, glorious space to be in, especially British Columbia. But I think, personally, having a dog with the 4 of us,
It's true.
it has made us just gel. It just made us just go, and
It feels like a proper family again,
It
doesn't it? When you
does,
have
Brian, it does.
We've always had a
and we talk to her like we used
dog.
to talk to Maggie, which is
Yeah.
a bit weird.
I know you do.
I know, but you can't help it because she's an old dog. Our dog was old. She was soft and she's soft, and we kind of like, you know.
She doesn't understand our accent anyway, so
Why do you keep calling me Maggie, you nutters? No, but it's just been It's been interesting to see that one other outside influence, such as a dog of all things, can make you feel like, oh, it's okay, we're together.
Yeah.
We're together. And I think that is the beauty, especially if you get the right house sit. That is the beauty of house sitting.
I know.
I mean, it does help that the owners, the Canadian owners that we've got, are just gorgeous.
Yeah,
they're
they are.
so laid back. They're so easy. But yeah, I wanted to share that. I don't know.
No, but it's true
if that makes
because
sense.
we,
or-
our channel supports people moving to New Zealand. Our NZ Ahead side of It's a Drama.
yeah, we've got another channel
yeah,
called
and-
NZ Ahead.
A lot of people move to New Zealand and spend an absolute fortune taking dogs and pets and cats and all sorts of animals over to New Zealand, and you can so see why.
You can.
Because they
You
want
can.
that's the thing we're talking about, is they want that connection back
Yes,
as a family, because
yes.
everyone goes through the animals, the kids love them,
Yeah.
you love them, and that side of things is such a, I don't know, it's
They're like a sponge, an animal. They're like a sponge. You can give to them as long as you are a kind animal lover, obviously. You give all this love to them and they just soak it up, and then they almost ooze it back out with whoever they're with.
yeah.
And I'm really, really, really appreciating the fact that we're looking after this dog. I mean, sometimes when you're house sitting, I'm not going to lie, it can be a pain. Like Bryce said with these other dogs, they're like, oh, they're a pain. They're always barking. They need to go out 10 times a night. You do it because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you don't know that at the time.
No, and I mean, some places that you do house sit for, sometimes we've had, oh yes, we're going, and they say they've got 2 dogs and one of them's passed away. In that period of like you securing the house sit and when you're actually going to go, and within a week before you arrive, they've gone and got a rescue dog, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
and that's what Liz is talking about. Is sometimes that can be quite hard. So you just be aware of those things, like But this has just been, she's been a dream.
She
this one.
has.
She really
Do you know,
has.
we've dedicated the whole episode to Birdie.
Yeah.
Really, haven't we?
Well, we have,
We've been
yeah.
talking about her
I know
this whole time.
Yeah, but that goes into, like you say, it's how it makes you feel, isn't it? And again, when you're travelling, like when you were talking about what we're always going to be doing something next, it's almost like it's that feeling that, oh, the family's going to maybe go their own ways and things like that in the future. We still aren't 100% sure where we're all going to be in the next few months and what's what. So that's when you have to appreciate the real now of really enjoy this for the next month or so that we're here.
2 months.
It's on 2 months, isn't it? 7 weeks that we've got left.
8.
Well, whatever it is, yeah. Call me alive for 6 days, but yeah. It's just that make sure you appreciate now. You really do.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, it is. And I know I promised you a story about Sunny and the liquor store. This just cracked me up the other day. So Sunny is 24. Is it? Yeah, it's 24.
He's 24. He's 25 in June.
Yeah.
Yep.
And does all this online stuff, and he's a huge entertainer.
Yep.
Again, I'm not going to go into too much of what his business is, because I would rather he come on and tell you that. It's not my place to say. But let's just say he's got a very energetic, entertaining job, and that he just loves it. He also likes to drink, does Sonny? And he started drinking this since he's been in Canada. There's this Canadian whiskey that he likes to drink, isn't there? With the
There's a firecracker?
Yeah.
Is it firecracker?
Is that what he's been
I think
drinking?
The one with the cinnamon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's been drinking this, and he loves it. And so on the way down from the mountain, after we've been skiing, we will pull into the liquor store, get some shopping from the grocery store, and then pull into the liquor store and get whatever drinks we need, like a bottle of wine or whatever. And Sonny went in one night and he got this firecracker. Anyway, he came back, a couple of days later, coming down the mountain, he said, oh, can you go to the liquor store? I'm going to get a bottle of vodka, because he wanted to try this.
It's the 50 proof vodka.
Yeah.
As you do when you're 24.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, it's a bit strong for me, that one,
He
Sonny.
came out of the liquor store And he looked quite ashen, like, you know, he looked like, normally he's quite like perky and happy. And he looked quite ashen. And he got in the car and I said, "You all right?" And he went, "God, that's a bit weird." I said, "What?" He said, "I took the vodka up to the counter." He said, and the guy behind the counter, he said he looked a bit like an alky, like, you know. And I said, "Oh, did he?" He said, "Yeah." He said to me, "I see you going for the stronger stuff today, mate."
Yeah.
He goes, "I know where you're coming from. The other stuff just doesn't hit it that hard, does it?" He said, "We need the stronger stuff, me and you, don't we?" So he said, he came out and he's just like, "Oh, I don't really want to drink this."
The first time he'd ever, like, the guy in there normally is like, doesn't say a word. He's just like, "Yep, up, next."
Yeah.
And it was a younger guy, but just looked like larger than life character, like 6'6", this guy, and just like, it's just chatting to people. But
Yeah.
it's so that's what
You're
I
an
love.
alky like me, aren't you?
It's like the 40%'s not cutting it, hey?
Yeah.
You just think,
And
yeah,
this
okay.
guy obviously wasn't an alky, because you wouldn't have an alky working in the liquor store, would you?
Oh, it doesn't matter. But
But
it's just like
it's just the way he said it.
I like it when you're in a place and people talk to you about it and not just like, you know, I don't know.
And that's the great thing about the Canadians as well.
And there's a
if
big
you can-
Canadian train going down the side if you can hear
If
it.
you can hear it, there's a huge train. But that's the great thing, is that great sense of humour. And the same with Americans. You know, with this, when we were there in America, I don't want to, you know. And the Kiwis. Maybe it's just us, Brian.
Do you know
Maybe
what?
we just
No, do you know what, Liz? It's like we said on a few podcasts ago, shows ago. You know, the real people that you meet on your travels, that we're all the same. You know, we're all good people. You know, and I know there's lots of crap and shit going on around the world with governments and this, that, and the other, but the real people that are there, they're just the best people. All over the world, they're all good.
Yeah.
You know,
They are. They
Yeah.
are.
the majority.
They
anyway.
really are.
You know? And they really are.
It's.
You don't want to make excuses, but they are genuinely. You know, 99 out of 100 people you meet are always jolly good people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, even down, we went to see the ice hockey the other day, didn't we? And that was just great to be with a bunch of Canadians. There was a whole bunch of people from the ski resort as well, so there was a lot of Aussies and Kiwis and Brits as well. But everyone just having a good
Time.
You know, especially when there was a bit of argy-bargy on the ice, bashing into each other or a little fight to break out. Everyone was just throwing words in and stuff, like, you know, and it was just great to hear it all. It was like being back in a football game in England. It really was. Like,
I'm really distracted because there's that massive train going past and I can hear it.
That's part and parcel of being in Canada, isn't
Yeah.
it? You know?
Why?
Sounds like a jet plane, doesn't it?
Shall we turn back round?
No, I'm just going to sit on the end and just finish our
okay.
podcast there. These trains are huge.
I was going to say, why are Canadian trains so long?
Yeah.
Why? Do you know that?
yes.
Were you a train driver?
Yes, I one time I was a train driver. I used to have a little brio set. Why do you think that would be, Liz?
Oh, Brian, I don't know. I'm just asking the question. I don't want you to answer with a question back to me that makes me look like an idiot. I don't know, otherwise I wouldn't be asking you.
The vastness of this country.
Yes.
And most of the train lines are single track. So if you're going to put a train down it, it's going to have to be a big train. You know, these things got like 4 or 5 engines in the middle and at the back, and it's still going past now. It's like over a mile long, this thing. And it's going right around the side of the lake.
I love trains.
Yeah.
I love trains.
You can hear those engines in there. It's just like powering away.
Yeah. And I just want to say before we go, because we will go now, you know, the thing about Canada is it's respectful of your space. And when I say that, this is my personal feeling, is you feel as if you have not only so much space out in front of your eyes, I don't know the word, geographically, or what's that, you know, like around you, the nature. I mean, I'm looking out now, all I can see is snow-capped mountains and hills and mountains and peaks and lake and beautifulness. So you feel like you have all this space. But the Canadian people are also, they give you space. They give you space. I don't know. That probably sounds really weird to you if you're not me. But it's a feeling of allowedness. That's it. It's a feeling of take it. Just be. Be.
Yeah, it's not ours as such. And I mean, nothing in life
No, I don't mean that.
is yours and stuff like, I know what you're saying. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't mean it's not yours.
Well, no, it's just, I think sometimes the vastness here is it can't be yours because it's so bloody big, like, It's not like when you're in the UK and the landowner's like, he owns all that land and this, and the farmers own this. Here, there's just so much land that isn't farmed because it can't be, We're on actually Crown land at the moment, so someone does own it. But it just is free to roam, isn't it? Like, and I know what you mean. It's just...
I kind of mean the space of, when I say take it, I kind of mean take the time. That's what I kind of mean.
Right.
I don't mean like physically take the country. I don't mean that. Or like you don't own the mountains. I don't mean that. I just mean when I say take it, I get the feeling of space. Someone giving you space to talk or to be or to think or to just be. And so it's beautiful because not only physically can you see space, and we're talking about where we are, obviously.
British Columbia.
Yeah. If you went, I'm sure if you went to the middle of the cities, you would feel differently. I don't know, but I'm talking about our experience. So not only do you feel this beautiful gift of space around you to stretch your eyes and to be on the road on your own and have all this space, but the people somehow have a way of also giving you that with their energy, with the way they talk to you when you ask them a question, the way they talk back to you. There's no sense of just come on, let's do this. I don't know. There's just this. It's a feeling of space.
Yeah, which again comes back to that a little bit like that camaraderie of wanting to just reach out and be in touch with people, isn't it? Like, it is. Like you're at the supermarket the other night and that's, there's a queue behind you, but it's just the lady's talking to you and then she goes, she asked us where we're from and she said, what are the checkout assistants like in New Zealand? And it's like, there's people behind, but they're all like, oh, they're talking. It's that type of feeling, isn't it? It's like nothing was in a rush. And it's a busy-ish supermarket, but you just feel like you have the time to then chat back and say something, don't you? And space, yeah. Instead of just like, next in line. Yeah, it's true.
Well, thank you so much for giving us your ears and for being with us today and for joining us. Please let us know if you like these walking style podcasts. I have asked you that before.
Especially if you're on audio, because there's a lot of wind noise and background noise. There's a big highway in the background. There's a train just came past and, we're not in a studio by any stretch of the imagination. And is it still okay to listen to on audio? That's what you want to know, isn't it, really, half the time?
Because we find that when we sit down together, again, if you've been with us from the start, you will know that we started our podcast sitting outside in our garden in New Zealand having a conversation, and that was beautiful. And we find that when we do that, we get into a much deeper, meaningful, like the depth is a lot deeper when you do sit and talk and you look at each other because you have that eye contact.
When you're walking, you tend to be looking where you're walking, and I'm constantly holding a camera up above my shoulder, sort of thing, and that's
good for your muscles, though, Brian.
Well, it is, yeah. But I've got a gym again here, which is great.
Yeah.
I've got a gym in this house, which is nice.
But we wonder for you if you are watching this podcast, if you prefer, if you like it, if you like going out and walking and seeing around and just being with us on a walk.
Yep.
So that would be great if you could let us know. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your patience with us getting to our point eventually, because I feel as if we've been going all around the places. Don't forget that if you would like to sign up for my free newsletter, the Front Row newsletter, where I'm a writer and I like to write about life and the kind of things that you can't really have a conversation about on YouTube. Well, you could, but I'm not brave enough to do that, so I tend to write it in a newsletter instead. If you'd like to join me in that newsletter, it's called The Front Row. It's absolutely free. I'll put the link in the description below. But until next time, please don't forget, my heart beats with yours. Again, if you're suffering from loss, I have written the book, You Won't Just Cry When They Die. I will put the link in the description below. I see you, my heart beats with yours, and I will speak to you soon.
Yep, so kia kaha, stay strong, kia u, stay true. And thank you, Tracy. Hopefully I'm going to say it right. Kia miu, I think it's miu.
Mahi,
Yes, I've forgotten.
Kia ma'ia, no.
Miu. It's like miu, but miu. I'm sure that's what it was, which is be brave, because brave is unbeatable. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much. If you are suffering from loss and grief, please know you are not alone. I wrote this little book to help you survive, cope, and gradually heal as the time goes by. If you're looking for a friend, some arms to wrap around you, something to make you feel like, oh, it's not just me, because it's not, then this is the book for you. To find out more about this book, you can go to www.elizabethdeacle.com. There's an audiobook, an ebook, a hardback, a paperback. I see you. I see you so, so much. And this is my way of wrapping my arms around you and saying, you're not alone.
Hello.
If you've never been to Canada, and we have, and still it was like, oh, I forgot about this. It is for real.
Hello.
Daddy, I love him!
Mother thanks you.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
We are in British Columbia, beautiful British Columbia in Canada.